This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, TCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for products, and fowtlibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists, as well as our guest lecturer members King Pearlshine, Vite Ramen, Mognite, and Darren Noblock. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers! Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours featuring myself, DMO73, and I'm joined as always by Mike Rance. It's true, and the freshly ordained Paul Reisman, the Reverend Paul Reisman. Welcome, thank you. Yeah, for sure. People keep telling me that they have to relearn this game, and I'm just like, hey, it's honestly not that different from when you were playing. It's just new cards, but the game feel is the same. Like, almost like I've been trying to tell these people for the past year. Anywho's can't hear Mike and Paul. You should be able to hear Mike and Paul. What? We gotta go through that whole intro again? What happened?
Hey,
hold on, I gotta play. Hold on, welcome. We're gonna do it. Roll it back.
Roll it back.
Hold on. We're gonna do this real quick. Second. I'm gonna do the transition. Hold on. I gotta click off. Hold on. Gosh dang it. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours featuring myself, DMO73, take 2. And as always, I'm pictured by Mike Rance.
I have to go relearn Force of Will. There's another year off Jeremy's life.
There we go. And the freshly ordained Reverend Paul Reisman.
Every time somebody in the world chat says they don't know how to play this game and they have to relearn it, Jeremy is going to be losing a year off his life, which means he's going to be dying tomorrow. Welcome to the longest intro in this podcast history.
Yep.
Oh wait, I wasn't ready. Sure. Can we roll it back, Jeremy?
Yeah, one more time. Here we go. Let's run it back.
Can you all hear me now, or do we have to do another
you're good. You're good. I forgot that Discord automatically pushes your audio to my headphones, but XSplit wants my computer audio, and my computer audio was set to the thing that's not Discord. So, little peek behind the curtain. We're here now. Hi everybody. Before we get started, just want to send you a quick reminder about all the things that you have in the description down below. You can check out to get I think they still have boxes and pre-release kits available of Crimson Moon Battleground from Odyssey Games, as well as Cardo Doko. You can check those out for that. Fowtlibrary.com has some wonderful articles and stuff. You can check the top 8 deck lists there until we can get our tournament report up. And also CCG Prime has singles up on their site now, more so than they have on TCG Player. And there's also a big sale going on over at TCG Prime for singles if you go pick them up over there. I think it's running to the end of July. I think it's 15% off of anything like in certain sets on there. So like well worth taking a look and picking up some singles from there. Also, we have the June Discord webcam event in 2 weeks, which I want to show there. Because...
Drum roll, please.
The playmat for it showed up today. And so if you play in the event in June 17th, fundraiser, this is what you're playing for.
Ooh. That's a pink spider.
So the pink spider mats have officially arrived. And so very much looking forward to that. It is a one-day event, $10 to enter. It's a fundraiser for FowFest. And it will give you a... if you walk away with top 8, all you have to do is place in top 8. And you walk away with this dope mat, which we're only printing the 8 for the the 8 for the top 8, and then 1 for me, of course. And that's all there is. You think I'm making an event and I'm not gonna print one for myself? Y'all be crazy.
How many mats do you have?
A lot. How many inverts? That's hold on. You see the wall over there's a behind this Lumia thing. There's like 65 playmats just hanging out. Plus all the ones on the wall. So I have a lot of them. The answer is yes. So to answer your question, Great Grumbler, how many invites are there for Worlds? All told, all throughout the world, I think right now it's somewhere between 120 to 150 invites have been handed out worldwide. Because it's been 3 years since the last Worlds. Might be more than that, honestly. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. And what people bring to the table.
Sorry, we keep you up, Jeremy?
Yep. Speaking of Worlds, we had a GP this past weekend, which was the last event for this season here in the United States that earns an invite for Worlds. John Paul Clintworth came. He was in the States and he won the event, so congrats to him getting his unpaid invite. Playing a Falchion like heavy duty Brad deck. Like I can only classify it as Brad.deck because of how it was played. It was very cool to see watching played out. We had some really cool stuff. We were only able to stream the top 8, so you can go back and watch that footage right now though. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. I do want to go through like the breakdown of the rulers real quick for the event. We had 56 players in the event, which is not bad for like a last chance qualifier. Especially there were a lot of people who didn't sign up because it was people who like already have invites and stuff. So I imagine once the invites are back on the table for the fresh Worlds, that our event attendance is going to increase significantly because people are going to want. First off, here's what's going to happen. All of y'all people who have been sitting out because you have event invites are going to come to Worlds, realize how much fun the game is right now, and then go, crap, I need to come back, so I have to start playing again. And so you're all going to play the game again, and it's going to be great. But secondly, also, I just think there's going to be a lot more people because we're probably going to have in-person events again, and we'll see those. And just in general, people will be getting back on the grind because, hungry for invites again. So, ruler breakdown. We had 8 Killua, 6 Electra, 6 Falchion, 6 Aristella 2 plus Little Red, 3 Aristella 1.0, 3 Dark Tree, 3 of them, 2 Odins, 2 Kaguya 3s, Friend from Another World, so Moon Kaguya, 2 Typhons, 2 Olga, 2 Ains, 1 Mika, 1 Interdimensional Mikage, 1 Hyde, 1 Reunion, 1 Athenia, 1 Oct, 1 Vega, 1 person playing Kaguya 1.0 and Baja. Cough, cough. It was Dan Rowland, and he was playing my deck that you're going to see feature match this Wednesday. 1 Asuka, 1 Reinhardt, one Alice, which I imagine is probably Order Alice, one Val 1.0, one Grim plus Sherry 1, which was very interesting, tagged together, and one Funf. And the top 8 was 2 Falchions, a heavy bred Falchion and a regular Falchion, like a regular control Falchion, Gas Killua, Aristella 1.0, Order Loki, Rune Loki, Typhon, Asuka, and Electra, I think that's all 8, if I mention it. So we had red decks, green decks, blue decks, black decks, control decks, mid-range decks, combo decks, aggro decks, all represented in the top 8. And in the 9th, the other interesting thing to note is that 7th through 13th were all tied for number of points. It came down to breakers.
Jeez.
So like, and in that spread, we had Killua control, we had Esper Hyde, we had Ainz, and we had new red Aristella in that 7th through 13th spread. So when you think about like the in contention for top 8 spread, you have a crap ton of stuff represented across the board that could have ended up walking away with the top 8 this weekend. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
How do breakers work? I've been wondering that for 20 years.
There is math behind it. It comes down to how many, like, it comes down to how your opponents do, essentially. Like, if you, like if someone beats me, but then goes on to, like, lose the rest of their games, that puts me at a lower spot than if someone beats me and then the person who beats me goes undefeated for the rest of the day, right? It essentially like weighs me as being like, well, you lost, but the person you lost to was really, really good. So like you're up towards the top of the pack, as opposed to, well, you lost and then that person lost the rest of their day. So like, why did you lose to that person, kind of thing? And it pushes you down lower in the rankings. There's an algorithm for it. The program does it. It's usually opponent match wins. It plays a big part of it. Yeah, 7 out of 8 rulers in the top 8, or 7 different rulers in the top 8, and the only repeat ruler was 2 wildly different decks. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
If I'm right, only got 1 win away from making top 8, needed 4 wins and 1 loss. No. So 7th and 8th got 3 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. 10 points was the like break-in point for this event. So then it came down to breakers. Yeah, happy to explain, Mamu, for sure. Yeah, it was really cool. It was a very interesting top 8. I think there certainly some like factors to consider with like to take these results with a grain of salt, more so than other GPs, and we can kind of talk about that being 1 week post-event or post-set release, right? 1 week post-set release. So pretty unknown. Who knows who got all their cards? Who knows what the pairings looked like? Who knows how much testing people got in or everything else? Like, there's a lot of factors that I think will show, but that's why I say look at the 1st through the 13th as like the in contention for top 8 kind of species to really talk about what we see might be plausible for top 8s as we look at worlds and moving forward. So I'll open the floor to you guys when hearing about that kind of a ruler spread as in the event itself, as well as the top 8 or in contention. What are some takeaways for you guys?
I'm terrified.
Go on.
What the hell am I going to do for Worlds when I have to learn all these different decks and all these different rulers and how they interact with each other's things? Like, it's almost
like if you had been playing Force of Will for the past year, like I've been telling you to do, you wouldn't be in such a bad spot.
Right? Oh my God. That'd be so cool. Unfortunately, I am not bright. So here I am, having to learn this on the fly, but realizing that I've got some really cool things that I could potentially do. I'm literally reading cards for like the first time right now. Just going through
And
Force of
realizing that
Wind.
cards are cool.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, there's some stuff that's toxic for sure, but
But
that's
it might be
fun.
combo banned. But it might be combo banned.
Could be combo banned. I need to
Read the
that's
ban
something
list.
I also I also have to do that.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just like, I feel very, I mean, I feel overwhelmed, of course, because I'm basically like relearning the game that I've played before with all these new cards. I know the old cards. I'm very good with the old cards. I used to be the Wanderer man. Now we are Wanderer forever.
Yeah.
So I've got, you know what? I'm gonna posit something for you boys.
I'm pause it away.
You may
There are
deposit.
I will deposit some thoughts.
Go for it.
A lot of people that are really good at the game right now have a very strong understanding of how the new cards interact with one another. I feel like I
Sure.
bring a lot of the old card synergies, and I'm going to do my damnedest to try and find something that nobody's seen yet. Because I have approximate knowledge of so many garbage cards from Grim and Alice Cluster. Like, I know some dog shit.
You
And
know what
that's
card got
great.
played this weekend that I honestly really liked? Silencing Spell.
Shut the fuck.
The-
No.
That's the
Silent Spell
addition,
didn't-
right?
The addition that forces your opponent to pay 2 more to play non-resonator or to play normal spells.
Who did that?
Electra did in top 8, and Falchion was sideboarding it as well.
I'm sorry, Steven just was maining that shit in Electra.
Yeah.
I love that man with all my heart.
Yeah. Well, no, so here's the thing. So the interesting thing about
Yeah.
it is we talked about it as the judges is it gets around barrier. Adding an addition to a resonator doesn't target.
Wait,
So you can
wait,
add
wait.
silencing spell to something that has barrier.
why?
According to the current CR, you can add something that does to something that has barrier, which is
Well-
honestly kind of huge because we've been seeing a lot of people playing Ray Asnable. That was a big card of this weekend, the 9/9 to stop enter effects, and then just protecting it. Then it's like, cool. Well, you're not gonna want to give out your own Ray Asnable. How about if I just tax every card you play for 2 will?
Jeremy, do you
like-
know what I'm doing right now? I'm looking up the word addition resonator to see what stupid garbage I can put into a thing and make it. Hang on. I've got some. First of all, the silencing spell. I cannot believe this one got it, but honestly, I'm very happy that it did. I've got. I mean,
it did get paired up against its worst matchup in top 8 and then proceed to immediately bomb out. But
That's
that's
fine, whatever.
unfortunately the stream curse for Steven, and I'm sorry, Steven. But it was neat. It was definitely a neat, like, I wouldn't have thought about that. Kind of completely forgot that card existed. That's pretty neat. Adding an addition does target them. Nope. Specifically in looking at the CR, adding an addition to a resonator does not target, so it gets
you know what I
around
can do?
barrier.
I could give my opponent's barrier resonator silver shoes to get +3/+3. That's the best thing I can think of right now.
You can.
That's the absolute best thing I've come up with so far. Let's look at.
Strong start. Anyway, Paul, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I'm still peering over all of the lists, but my initial thoughts are that basically this is the kind of format that I've wanted in a card game for a very long time, and we've had this for, 3 years in some way, shape, or form, and it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, I would say that, like, the time between the first combo ban list and the second one was still kind of rough. But like
That's
ever
pretty
since the second combo ban list, I'd say like FOW has really hit that sweet spot for me as well.
Absolutely. I appreciate that there are people who can come in with their own like weird jank, like Loki Olympians, and just go hard. I love that. I like there's space for innovation. There's space for people to just play good decks that they know really well. There's space to do well with new decks. There's just a lot of room as a player right now, which means, I mean, if Rune Loki can get into the top 8,
Yeah,
chance. There's a chance.
the thing to me about Rune Loki is like the deck kind of really needs like really, really needs harvesting season to resolve. Which against like the aggro decks, like they probably don't really have anything to stop you from resolving it, right? So then sure, maybe that's what he like hit against all day. But like anytime you go against a control deck, like they just know that harvesting season is what you need and they're never gonna let it resolve. And so then you're just kind of like,
All right, boys.
okay.
I'm going to officially say
okay.
Silencing Spell is the sickest thing you can do with an addition
To add
resonator.
There you go. Thank you. Perfect. We've confirmed it.
If only we had a spell that said your opponent cannot target your things on the chase. If only we had a spell like that. I think you're right.
But setting the stage wouldn't do anything to Silencing Spell.
Not the silencing spell. I'm talking specifically about the thing before Mike interrupted us.
Oh, sure. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, setting the stage for sure. There's this element of like, for me, walking away from this event goes to show, I think, that people feel comfortable and enjoyment playing what they enjoy playing, right? That to me is a big indicator, because I try to always look at like GPs both from the casual and the competitive environment. Like, what does it mean about like how people are viewing the game both competitively and casually? And I think it's to see such a diverse spread of stuff at the tables in general at an event makes me think that the game itself is in an enjoyable enough space that people are enjoying bringing these things to events, right? As opposed to just like feeling like they have to play X, Y, or Z to even make it worth their time to participate, right? And a lot of that is, the Forcible community as a whole is just really, really engaging and really kind. But also I think that they've done a really good job with the combination ban list and everything else and the management there. From a competitive standpoint, like this to me was a perfect like rough draft for people prepping for Worlds to see like what the aggro, what the mid-range, what the combo, what the control decks are gonna like be playing around with. But in no way, shape, or form do I go, oh yeah, we're gonna see these same lists at top 8 of Worlds or like anywhere close, right? Like the amount of innovation between now and a month from now is gonna be kind of, I think, insane, but like in a good way. Like I still think we're gonna see this same kind of diversity. And then we also get to see like the regional spice and like the regional flair that every country is going to bring to the format. And that has me very, very excited as well.
Regional spice is my favorite spice girl. Anyway.
Rustin, you might be right.
Question.
We'll figure it out. I still think Silencing Spell is sick.
Yeah, it might be using the word target not in the sense of like targeting nomenclature, right? Where it's like,
but it needs something to be able to attach to in order to be played, but it doesn't actually target it to attach. I think is probably where it is. Why are harvesting seasons $15, not even full art? That's a good question. I have no idea.
I want to check on this. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Doing this in real time, no editing.
That seems very strange. No editing. The other thing to me, I think that True Black Ribbon. Yeah, adding an addition to a card in the field doesn't target it. Yep, 1002.2a. You can just get around barrier by adding an addition to it. You just have to have a legal thing you can attach the addition to in order to be able to play the addition. So like you can't play an addition resonator if there's no resonators in the field. Anyway, so for me, I think that's the interesting thing about like this reminds me of almost like an expanded 2018 Worlds format, right? 2018 was the last time we were in Japan, right? Yeah. This feels like an expanded, an even wider 2018 Worlds, because at the top tables for Worlds was certainly like similar stuff, but even in the top 8 there was people playing unique things, and in the top table contentions there were still unique things. I think it's even more so for this format, which I think makes Worlds more enjoyable to watch as well as to play and experiment for, because we've also had Worlds that were, how's everybody feeling about their Priscia Fox mirrors? How's everyone feeling about every single person in the room playing Blazer Knights? How's everyone feel about every single person in the room playing frickin' Hanzo machines? You know what I mean? Like, we've had Worlds that have just been that, where like the best deck was so far and away the best deck that there was no point to bring anything else. This doesn't feel like that at all. Even like walking out of this event, the fact that we had aggro, mid-range, combo, control all in contention for top 8 means, yeah, format's not solved, and start practicing because you have to be ready to respect all of them at the world stage.
Unfortunate for me.
If only you had been playing for the past year. What we have been trying to get you all to do.
I found something funny. I might want to do this. This sounds cool. I like
It's
this.
okay. It's okay. You're going to be at the B&B. You're going to have cards. You're just going to like go out and explore Japan during the day and then come home at night and play FOUT for 4 hours. It's fine. Every single night until Worlds. That's fine.
That sounds about right. That's pretty much what I've always done.
Yeah. But like the other thing that I'm really excited about for this format just in general is like it was very funny to me to see this pivot from the community going into this weekend of, look at how insane Red Aristella is. Oh, we're just all going to die to Red Aristella, blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as the event went over, everyone went, wow, Brad's insane. I'm just like, we got to whiplash, the whiplash we experienced there. Meanwhile, those of us who were like, yeah, Red Aristella's pretty good and can definitely win, but you probably should play it to like a mid-range variant and not just like be so concerned about popping off all the time. Also, if you're a control deck, you should just be respectful of the Aristella deck and you're probably going to be okay. And then, oh, hey, look what happened. Like, I just like...
nerfed blue Aristella got 4th place. That's what happened.
Yeah. Nerfed blue Aristella got 4th place, and red Aristella was in contention for top 8 but didn't make it there. Like that's the thing about, you know, I posted that TikTok last format drop of the like new ban list drops. Community immediately hyperfixates on bad bad FTKs, and it's just like, get out of the bubble. Just you gotta stay out of the bubble. It's just this piece of like the best decks in FOW just play the grind. Like that's just what they do. Even if it's the aggro deck that can pivot to a mid-range grind, or a mid-range deck that can like pivot to the late game, or the control deck that is the control deck but just has multiple win cons. Like the best decks in FOW over the course of an entire tournament day are the ones that can grind and don't just become one tricks. And so I think that's continues to be the case even in this format, and that's what makes me interested for Worlds, because it feels like there's a lot of different ways to enter that game space at each of those like deck type levels. And so I'm very curious to see what kind of insane builds we're going to see coming out of this weekend, or come out of Worlds. So that's my thoughts there.
Yeah. Can confirm.
Yeah. Can confirm. Pals also just like continues to be really fun. I just continue to really enjoy the things that people are building and goofing around with. I freaking built Abdul plus Scheherazade for locals this week.
Very solid.
I just want to judgment Abdul on 1. Is that cool?
Oh my gosh.
Mike, is that okay? Can I judgment Abdul on 1?
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah. Value.
Remember, you know Ray Asnable?
He was a ruler once.
He was a ruler once. He had real good stats. He was a 10-10. He wasn't even a
10-10. The other real talk, the really interesting thing about this is I was looking at this idea of judgmenting Abdul on 1 and against the like deck that JPK played, and there was this moment where I was like, Chivalry's Tears can't even kill Abdul. His only like main deck way to kill Abdul is Darkness Moonchild. So if you have a way to stop the Darkness Moonchild, Abdul will just never leave board. And I was like,
There you go.
That's really interesting. Yeah, but like the new Void stuff is cool. All of the new rulers are fun except for Reunion. I haven't tried Reunion yet, but just like the concept of Reunion is just like, okay.
We're gonna make it
defense
work.
order. Defense order for sure. Definitely seems like being on coin and just being like Judgment Abdul coin with defense order to be able to protect the Abdul seems really, really good. I am playing the Brad package, like a similar ish Brad package within Abdul as well, but he has other cards too. Cat.
Someone misses her mom, so she needs to substitute with her dad.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else to talk. I also built my first ABC. I also built my first ABC deck today for
Really?
Arcana Battle Coliseum. I did. I sleeved it up in real life.
That's crazy. That's some IRL sleeving.
Yeah. And I realized very quickly when I was looking at the list that cancel spells in a 4-player format are bad.
Yes.
Very, very bad. Because I was like, man, I should play this. And I was like, no, I shouldn't. Why? Why would I? Because there's 2 other people that I have to try to stop their stuff too. Like, cancels don't help me here. Do y'all have a deck list for budget Olivia? I feel like the last Olivia build we put on the channel was pretty budget friendly. Outside of the Pricias, were you playing Pricias in the last build?
No, I was not. No.
Okay, yeah. Not. If they weren't, yeah.
I would love to come up with a like budget Olivia, just have fun sort of deck. That doesn't cost more than like 25. That sound fair?
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
The other interesting thing is like the true irony of this weekend is by watching a Falchion Brad deck do so well, we proved that Olivia instant speed search all 4 Brads to your hand at the beginning of the game might have actually been a deck for people to worry about. Just like maybe they knew what they were doing with Invitation to Valhalla and the Brads.
We also had the first instance of Invitation to Valhalla being played that got into the top 8.
Yeah, the Aristella list for Olympians, for the Olympians.
Naturally,
burn spells that steal the win could be a concern. That's true. That's something to be concerned about potentially, based on who's sitting at your table.
Are you trying to leave or what? What are you trying to do?
Yes.
Klepto Olivia, Thunder Empress strike to do Vala at quick cast. That's pretty neat. Yeah, you can certainly steal stuff that way. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do. Interestingly enough, in the top 8, I think only 3. Let's see. 1, 2. White Child was still pretty represented. I'm trying to see exactly how many of the top 8 decks had White Child as the main. We started to see half. Okay, cool. We started to see Wind Child pop up a lot more. In main and side, we started to see Water Child pop up a lot more, which was interesting. That was pretty cool with the Falchion deck for Matthew, was like using Water Moonchild to bounce Fiola right back to his hand and then use Spirit Ring to immediately recast the Fiola. Like, that was cool. This set CMB was really good for limited. Also, just overall use of good cards for constructed. Yeah, there's a lot of good cards in CMB for constructed. Limited was. Did you open the end of the false savior in some way, shape, or form? But
did you get 1 or 2 copies of that? Did you get 1 or 2 copies of the void spell that wins the game for you? Did you get the vampire?
Oh yeah, the vampire was kind of huge.
Vampire
how many
was
game
very
1 win
good.
child? There were no game 1 wind childs, but in terms of the
0.
sideboard, 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 4 sideboard wind childs. Yeah, every deck that started with white child had a wind child in the board to be ready to go. So
also all these singletons. Oh my gosh, I want to say more, but obviously I have a video coming, so
yeah.
I can't talk about this too much, but
because you have a tournament report to go over.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer I look at these lists, the more I'm like, oh, I could put that in the video. Yeah.
I just really enjoyed, and this was honestly the first time I've recorded Aristella, Red Aristella, for the channel. I've recorded Red Aristella for the channel, and it was probably the first heavy based red deck that I've enjoyed in a long time.
That's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot. The fact that they can even make me enjoy red decks is okay, something special about this set when they make a red deck that Jeremy's here for.
Absolutely.
Just has me excited for what set 5 is going to bring, especially if we're gonna have extension rules for Lapis and Alice cluster. That's gonna be kind of cool.
Jer, what else are you cooking outside of the stuff that we're pretty sure about, right? Electra.
Oh, sure.
What else are you brewing with your stuff?
I have an Electra built right now. I just built Brad Duel, which is the Brad package, a miniature, my take on the Brad package with Abdul and Sherry. And I have Kane and Eve, the Void Trio. I can't build too much right now because I have to pretty much disassemble everything immediately to get it ready for people to borrow for Worlds. But that's kind of what I'm focusing on. I really want to build a deck that uses Alice, like Alice in Wonderland, for Crimson Moon, with the combination rulers, or with the extension rule somehow.
I feel it.
Because that feels really fun. But then again, the main thing that I built to have assembled is my green-black Arcana Battle Coliseum deck, because that's the thing that I'm gonna probably get to play the most while I'm in Japan, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get to play in the side event, which would be dope.
Currently building. I'm looking at Order Alice with red included.
Ooh, okay.
Is it just a worst case Aristella, but not tag rulers? I don't know, but I'm trying it out because the wolf is really good.
The wolf is very good,
and she gets some really good support spells.
That was what a lot of what K3 was doing. Red Kaguya 3 with the moon shenanigans and stuff like that. And there was one of them that was, I think it ended 2-2-1, so it was a win and in away from being in that 10-point bracket. So there's that too. Can you tag the 2 original Pandora cards together, the ones that flip in Pandora Light, Pandora Dark? We're pretty sure you can, but rules as written CR makes it a little bit fuzzy. It kind of becomes down to what connotates the full name of the card. Makes it a little weird, but those were also created when the extension rule wasn't even remotely a thought. So then it's kind of like, yeah, I think it's probably okay if you tag these two together. So that's kind of where we sit on that.
So, Mike, you've been playing longer than me, right? You played
Yes.
back in Grim Cluster,
I
right?
started playing right at the front of Alice Cluster, so
Oh, just like me. Okay. Was
yeah.
it? Did you ever go back and like explore Grim Cluster? Like, what
Oh, a
ruler
ton.
did you like? What ruler stood out to you back then?
In all honesty, I tried my best to make. Who did I try to make work? At that point, I was a college student, so I couldn't get Grim at that point, and Grim decks needed 4 Cheshire Cats to function, so that was out of the question for me. But I think my fondest memory is probably trying to make something. I'm pretty sure Scheherazade was the big one because I was playing the aggro Scheherazade with the 4 Unyielding Flames from Moria because you could never get it turn 1 because you got to stack your deck and you suddenly turned all your burn stuff into crazy powerful burn stuff.
Ooh,
It's
Yeah.
spicy. It's
Yeah.
that's
real
real
spicy.
spicy.
There's something to be said about like, with the new stuff of like Christie plus Alice in Wonderlands, right? Just like always being able to draw a second card, and then Alice is just like, hey, what color do you have, huh? And then you play like High Speed Dash, so you can like use it. There's some neat stuff to be done there. I remember back in Grim Cluster, I think the rulers that I wanted to explore the most, but never felt like we had enough to goof around with, was like Dracula. Dracula's judgment condition is so weird that like it feels really rough. It even back then it felt. I mean, he did top 8, I think, a couple of times, but that was like back in the day. But like even as you advanced into like Alice Cluster, it felt so weird to like, well, I have to abandon a stone call to hope that I can kill something, to hope that I have a vampire. Like that feels weird. Whereas now, like if you can tag with him, it's like, oh, okay, I can tag him and I can call stone with the other guy or something like that. Similarly for like Christy, like I like Christy a lot, but like when she was by herself, like her front side was pretty meh, and she was typically relegated to like a sideboard slot for like if you got paired up against Drac, you were just like, well, I've got Helsing. Whereas now, you can just kind of like have her for the additional card draw, which is neat.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of rulers set aside. It's not going to be good, but I'm just messing around with it. One of the first decks Jeremy had me play when I was like in card game hiatus for a year was the Musketeer deck, and I always noted that they were fairy tales and musketeers. So like Grim and Puss in Boots suddenly has legs because of extension rule. Is it going to be good? God no. Am I going to have fun? Probably. Unless I don't.
Yeah.
hell yeah.
So that was good times. I'm also interested in Dracula because that's one of the like very few. Like Jeremy had me play Regalia Dracula back when like Leviathan was still a thing. Didn't know what I was doing. It's a bad video.
Have swiftness.
Don't look at it.
Yeah, don't go back. I mean, it's 8
don't
years.
Go back and look at that.
It's 8 years ago. We had a microphone we only used the overhead microphone. We didn't have an overlay. Camera angles were shit, and we didn't have any lighting. Like, don't go back 8 years. Like, it's up for posterity, but we've come a long way. We've come a long way. From Jeremy and Paul sitting down and being like, "Cool, we have an hour before we have to go downstairs for Wesley Foundation for dinner. We gotta get a recording."
This free dinner that's hosted on our college campus. We have an hour.
Here's a deck. We're recording it right now.
Am I gonna run the chance standby? I might. Honestly. I'm looking at literally like everything right now, and I'm just like, there's got to be something in here that's
hey
like
guys,
workable.
What's the fastest way to mill cards into the graveyard other than harvesting season?
That grass looks greener.
I mean, yes.
Wrong card game. Sorry, I was thinking Master Duel again. Sorry.
Planting beans. You can use Mikage Seijiro to pay 1 black and discard it to mill 4 off the top of your deck.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Depends. Do you want selective or just like hard mill?
Oh, I just want to yeet my entire.
Just yeet the whole deck.
Technically,
Technically, the fastest is a red-blue quick cast where you just name a card that's not in your deck, and then fucking yeet your entire deck to the graveyard.
Oh my god, I forgot that card exists.
That's the thing.
Anyway,
Excavation of a Legacy. You could just be like, I don't have this card in my deck. Name it. There's my whole deck.
Gosh.
Tidor deck out combo. Are we playing Tidor deck out combo?
Oh no, I've got something way more sinister than that.
Death Speaker. Yeah, Prowler of Niflheim is also like this card enters mill the top 3.
Okay, Excavation is insane.
It's a tempo play.
That's quick cast. It's quick cast, Jeremy. Jeremy, it's quick cast.
Excavation? Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, boys, I know what we're gonna play today. Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today.
I'm scared. Paul, I'm scared.
You should be. That's the fear that he's onto something.
Is Mike gonna try to swing at a person with the deeper ones?
Wait.
Just million
RFGs?
Lay the Fishman pass.
Yeah, Excavation. I think RFGs.
Fuck. Okay. No. Okay.
You can do it with Guardian. You can do it with Guardian of Elsevaria though, because she gets plus 100 attack for every single card you have RFG'd.
That's pretty neat. I kind of like that.
Salvador Hernandez, coming from Magic the Gathering, and been wanting to play FOW for a while, so I've been watching us lately in our gameplay videos. Well, thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Don't watch the Dracula one from 8 years ago. It's
don't watch videos from 8 years ago. Stick to the past. Stick to the past, like when we changed from DMO73 Gaming to Ruler School, and we stopped having the
intro.
Like that's at that point in time. That's when you passed to
Fox
watching
Studios opening.
Yeah,
I'm surprised we didn't get demonetized for that.
Typhon antibodies. That's an idea. That's an idea. You could use Typhon antibodies, a single antibody, and then Excavation mill the entire deck, and then you're like, great. You're dead.
Here we are.
What's the Maribella card? Or is it Maribel now? I don't even know anymore. It's a blue card. It's a blue
Maria.
card. Maria.
Yeah.
Little Maria.
They finally got her name right.
Okay, hang on. Hold on.
We're just watching Mike spiral in real time, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh my god, Mike's actually getting into the game.
Listen, I literally just use antibodies.
I remember the gloves.
That's so boring. Antibodies are so boring. Anything having to deal with Typhon, if I look at another 100 card deck, I'm gonna vomit. Anyway, continue.
I mean, you don't have to use antibodies in Typhon.
No, I know, but
just anything.
Anyway, no.
And technically, maximum deck size for anyone that's not Typhon is 60. So like,
no, it's okay. I can figure this out.
Just remembering the old intro to yesterday.
I could put the ball back into the grave with the healing robot.
Healing robot and Essence of Athenia.
Yeah, Essence of Athenia will also do it.
What the hell is Essence of Athenia?
It's Essence of Athenia's power. It takes your graveyard and removes it from game.
$5 super chats to get on the gloves. I'll put on the. If someone sends a $5 super chat right now, I'll go put on the gloves.
Those are the days.
For the last 10 minutes. They itch so bad because my hands have grown. Like my body has just like the way my body has changed since wearing them. And it's just like they are not comfortable to wear for any amount of time.
Okay.
But I do it.
Should know that there's going to be this weird time where your body goes through changes you may not understand. Your gloves may not fit anymore.
Your gloves may not fit anymore.
They might itch. And that's normal. You should feel okay.
They itch really bad.
Everyone else is going through the exact same thing.
I remember when we were doing the like FOW Wednesdays here at the house because of COVID, and people would do the $5 super chats, and we would but they do it like early in the night, and we had a couple where I like had to wear it for like 4 or 5 games. And like when we were done, when you had left, the rest of the night, I had this just like ring of just like stinging itching on my hand, on both hands, that I was just like,
memories.
Memories.
This doesn't work. It's resonators. Okay, I'm stupid.
Rough.
I know.
That's Bigger Monk, man. That's Bigger Monk. I'm telling you, harvesting season, get it off with setting the stage. They won't see it coming.
They'll never see it coming. I mean, wait, hold on.
This is what we're gonna next podcast is gonna be just Mike talking to himself for an hour. Like Paul and I are just gonna be like,
Just gonna take the night off.
Just like take the night off.
Jeremy,
like,
you assume that people won't watch me just descend
I'm not,
into madness.
Listen here. Did I make that sound as if I wouldn't do that? Like I absolutely would. I need a night off next week. Be like, I'll start the podcast. I'll do the intro and I'll say Mike is gonna be the guy for the next hour. See you later.
No, like Jeremy, you don't understand. I'll get like a board, like the Brian David Gilbert unraveled boards with like the strings connecting everything.
Yes.
And just start.
What about the time break?
That's the content. That's the content, Mike. I need you to be my Brian David
the villain's Tridecagon.
What were the most impactful cards of CMB? I think coming into this weekend, the top 3 cards that I think had the most impact were the combination of Brad plus Library, like those two together had a really, really huge impact on this weekend. We saw like what that value engine could do, which was very interesting. I think Ray Asnable was huge this weekend. Like it saw a lot of play and got a lot of versatility. It was even hard cast. Like we played 3 drops, boys, and it resolved. I think cards that didn't. Don't tell Jordan. I think cards that I was expecting to have more of an impact but didn't were, at least at the top cut, were Attack Order and Rumsfeld. Like it just wasn't sideboarded as much as I thought it was going to be, and I didn't see Attack Order main decked as much as I thought it was going to be, at least in the top tables. That was very interesting to me. But there was a ton of stuff from this new set that was played all over the place, though. So, Gray, I hope that answers your question. Like, I think all of the top 8 lists were using at least some stuff from the new set. Maybe not the Killua Gas list. I don't think that was really playing anything new. It was just pretty standard Gas Killua, which was not the version of Killua that I thought would top, but also, like, if an aggro deck's going to top, Gas can do it just as well as any other deck can.
Absolutely. I just love how much mileage the community gets out of beginning of a fairy tale because, man, every time that card shows up.
there's Jordan in the chat.
There he is.
Listen here, we watched it in finals on stream. Hardcast 3-drop Ray Asnable.
I also nervous sweat a little bit, but I'm also comfortable playing 2 drops. Love you, buddy.
It's not 1-drops or bust. If you want to see what happens when you play 1-drops or bust, just watch the feature match this week when I turn 1.5 stick a Garian.
There you go.
And my opponent goes, I'm in danger.
Crap.
And I go, yes, you are very much in. We were doing this with Carlina. Guess who we're doing it with now? Kaguya 1.
Yeah.
Dan had the audacity to ask me if I thought Garian should have been a dragon as I stuck a Garian. I was like, can you imagine if I didn't have to worry about drawing this because I could search it with Bahamut? Do not give me this kind of power.
Don't do it. Should have been a Chimera. Going back to that. Oh my god.
What do you mean my standby card that's a 3 cost that I paid 1 to put face down doesn't have quick cast, so you can't Fair Spell it or Garian it? What do you mean? Exactly
what
that.
Do you mean
That's
Knights
exactly
and
what
Raiders
I mean.
is a card. What?
Yeah, Nighttime Raiders. Yeah, so good.
Silencing Spell and Nighttime Raiders. Those are the 2 best cards at the GP.
What's you know about someone pinging me for a little bit of aggro damage early, and then I go, "That's cute. Have an El Dorado Pearl Shrine." Make El Dorado a dragon. That's what I need. Standby returns.
I'm still not emotionally over the fact that we did not see Panda King return when we got El Dorado. It's not over it.
It's okay. It's okay, buddy. If they do Raya Cluster Tag,
that'd be great.
Can I third boon Nighttime Raiders?
Let's look up third boon.
I'm pretty sure it's third boon Persona Mask.
Because you have to put it onto the chase. You get to put it onto
cancel
the chase.
target spell with total cost 3 or more. I mean, it does have a total cost of 3 or more. Yes, you can third boon it. It does have a total cost of 3 or more.
Unplayable.
Nighttime Raiders? When I'm paying 1 to put it face down? I don't understand.
Unplayable.
What do you know about What do you know about paying 1 will to cast a 3-drop to cheat in a 5-drop? That seem good? That seem good to you?
Seems alright.
I've heard good things. Unplayable. Not worth it.
Somewhere out there, Jeremy Eponk is smiling. He's probably sleeping, but he's just dreaming of one day
or getting ready to play, or getting ready to play Shadowverse Evolve.
Or that.
Or that.
Or that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I think the biggest takeaway from this weekend is that, like, the format is as wide and unknown as we thought, and we have some good theming to work with, like some good framework of, like, what to start looking at this as people get ready for Worlds, but far from solved. And top 8, top 13 results already showed that, like, player skill and pairings will have a factor in what tops. That it's not just play this deck and win. So that's what I like to see going into a Worlds environment. And it's also kind of why I'm kind of glad that we don't have a bunch of GPs before Worlds, because it feels like Worlds would be like a really kind of fresh experience to watch, as opposed to, we're just going to see more of the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's shaping up to make Worlds a lot more enjoyable to watch too, which will be great. Keep in mind, we're not streaming it here. They're streaming it on the official channel, so go subscribe to the official channel so you can watch the Worlds stream over there. I remember when you needed to control stones. I remember when you needed to control stones equal to the total cost to trigger it. Yeah, we don't need any more of that. Just nope. Cheating will is fun.
Reinstitute that, right? Would that fix chance standbys for everyone? Or
I don't think chance standbys need fixing. I think it's okay.
Interesting.
This is a
new opinion. This is a new opinion.
No. I did say that stealth needs fixing as a mechanic if they were to, like, reintroduce new stealth cards. My problem with stealth is the fact that stealth cards could be flipped up the same turn they were set. That was always my problem with stealth. I've never had a problem with how standbys work. I think standbys are fine.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And that's the whole drive of K1 in general, is the fact that she just has to pay 1 to put them face down. So you just get a lot of value out of it. The other inherent weakness of chance standbys is that they can't hit J rulers. Like the spot removal ones, like Portal of Truth and shit, can't hit J rulers. So that's a thing. Subscribe for Worlds. Yeah. Go subscribe for Worlds in the chat. Thanks there, Paul. But
no problem.
That's going to be it for us for tonight. Kind of a lighthearted episode today. Probably going to be pretty lighthearted up until Worlds, in all honesty, because there's not a ton of stuff going on. Again, we have the June 17th Discord event. You should go sign up for that, so you can try to take home one of those hide mats and help raise money for FowFest, so we can buy more cool stuff for FowFest to give away to you at FowFest. Also, go get your hotel reservation for FowFest. Go do that. The Radisson in Kalamazoo, Michigan. You can go check out our website or our Facebook page that has information about how to get that sorted out, so you get a nice discount at the hotel where the event is happening. So you could be right on site and play in the event all weekend long. So that's it for us. Until next time, this has been myself, DMO73, and I've been joined as always by Mike Rance.
I'm gonna figure some bullshit out. Just get ready, everyone.
I'm excited about it. And Paul Reisman.
I think Jeremy doesn't die tomorrow anymore. I think he dies Thursday. Good job, Mike.
Hey, it's one more day. Until then, though, class dismissed.